When I was first diagnosed with breast cancer back in June of this year, after my annual mammogram, I had a biopsy done because there was some suspicious spots. And the doctor called and said that, that I had cancer, that it was invasive lobular carcinoma. And I didn't know what that meant. I did some follow-up appointments. We had some more imaging done. And every time I went back to the doctor, the news seemed to get worse and worse. And my doctor back in Texas said that if you don't want to go through this every 6 months, it might be good just to go ahead and have a double mastectomy, and then we'll just take care of it. Instinctively, I just always felt like that was wrong, because it didn't feel like I was being treated as a whole patient and as a whole person. I wanted to beat cancer, but I wanted to beat it on my terms, and I wanted to beat it in a less invasive way than to have my body parts removed. I did consider a surgeon in Dallas and tried to get an appointment, but I wasn't able to actually talk to a person. I was only able to get into their website and try to schedule something, and wasn't even assured that I'd get to speak with a doctor. So I didn't feel the confidence that I felt by actually calling the U of A Cancer Center and talking to a knowledgeable nurse like Beth and getting right in to see an amazing doctor.
As the breast navigator, I am the point person, if you will, for the breast multidisciplinary team. I talk to patients right from the very beginning. I make that first phone call to them and make an assessment. Then I communicate the things that are pertinent to their physician team. And perhaps it's the breast surgeon, perhaps it's the medical oncologist. I can communicate between the patient and their doctors and their treatment team and help them to know more about that patient's needs as a person. Because we're not just treating their disease, we're treating their whole person. Maybe it's a mother who's single and she has 3 children and she lives far away. How can we coordinate her care so that it's easier on her and that she can get what she needs without, going bankrupt? You hear a lot about financial toxicity in cancer. Well, we work very hard to get resources to patients and make sure that all of their needs are taken care of.
For the first time since I was diagnosed several weeks earlier, I actually felt a little bit of hope. She was very competent, she was calming, and she said, yes, we can get you in this week to talk to Dr. Neumeier, and we'll see what she has to say. But I think that your case sounds very hopeful, that we can do something that's not so radical as a double mastectomy.
What we treat breast cancer with now is not your grandmother's chemotherapy. It's not the techniques that were used years and years ago. We now have a lot of new techniques, and women don't know about that. So educating people on what their options are and helping them get into the very complicated medical system is what gets me up and going every day.
Bilateral mastectomies are on the rise, even for women who don't need them. And I actually think it's sometimes the lack of diagnostic capabilities in a smaller community or lack of expertise, but it's also driven largely by fear. They're feeling fine, they have absolutely no health problems, they go and get what's supposed to be a screening test, and the next thing they know, they're being told they have a life-threatening disease, and it just doesn't compute. So almost every woman goes through this stage where they think, well, I can control this, and my control is going to be cut off both my breasts because I don't need them anymore, and right now they're trying to kill me.
You think about your children, you think about your family, you think about everything else really before you think of yourself, and you think, I've just got to get rid of this cancer. I just want it gone. I'll do whatever I have to do to get rid of this and get it out of my body.
It's my job to give them education, and I believe that, number one, no woman can control whether or not she gets breast cancer. That's just out of their control. So if I can give them control over other decisions, that's what I want to do. And that's why I do things like I put a video online.
I have to say that was the best explanation I've ever heard of breast cancer. And it was not only informative, but it helped me understand the disease that I was going to be grappling with. And it also helped me understand that here was a woman who really knew her material. She was very knowledgeable and very trustworthy. I immediately felt a connection and wanted to visit with her about different treatment options than what I had already been offered. So even though it was out of my comfort zone to travel 9 hours, 600 miles west from where I lived in Texas out here to Tucson, I kind of always had the feeling it was the thing I needed to do.
We are the largest multi-specialty group in the state and probably in the region. medical oncologists, radiation oncologists, we have social workers, we have genetic counselors, we have nurse navigators, which has been just amazing to help the patients get through the situation and really have their one point person and know that they have somebody advocating for them.
At my first appointment with Dr. Newmeyer, she told me at the end of the appointment that she was going to share my case with her team, her cancer care team, the next Thursday. And at that point, I knew that this is where I wanted my cancer treated, because my case was going to be looked at by a team of people. I was going to be treated holistically, and many experts were going to take a look at my images and at my notes and decide what was the best treatment for me. So that team approach, to me, makes the treatment so much more solid. I'm so grateful to the two doctors that did that MRI-guided biopsy, because I was able to keep both of my breasts. I didn't have to have a mastectomy. I was able to just have a lumpectomy because of the diagnostic tools that were available here in Tucson.
The thing I like most about Banner Healthcare is that it's a place that's always growing and changing. It's never stagnant. I'm always learning something new every single day. Being in a research environment, whether it's the medical research or nursing research, we're always striving for the next thing around the corner that might be a little bit better than what we were doing before. So while we do a great job, we're always looking to do a better job. And that is what Banner is all about.
Right before my surgery, my lumpectomy, I was in the operating room, and I could hear outside the curtain Dr. Newmeyer was talking to one of her student doctors and asking very pointed questions about why they were going to do this kind of procedure, what would you have recommended to this patient if you had been her primary doctor. I was just not only overwhelmed with a feeling of gratitude that I had a surgeon that cared so much, but also gratitude that I'd found a place to be where the teaching that was going on let me know that there were experts taking care of me and I was going to be okay. I felt very safe. I felt like I was not only in the hands of one really master surgeon, but I was in the hands of other learners who were becoming master surgeons, anesthesiologists, radiologists. Everybody had come together to make sure that I was going to be around to watch my kids graduate from college. Today, 3 months out from the surgery and 5 months out from my diagnosis, I feel fantastic. I feel like me again after all the anxiety and the trouble and the worry and the whole process of going through cancer. I feel very healthy. I've finished my radiation treatments, and so they went very smoothly. Dr. Gonzalez and his team did an amazing job, and my nurses, Claire and Heen, and all the other technicians there at the radiation center just made it really painless and smooth. In fact, I would have to say that my cancer journey has been really easy in a lot of ways. And I almost feel a little guilty sometimes because it's been so smooth. I've recovered quickly. I still have I'm going to see my oncologist in January, so I still have some more procedures to do and some more hurdles to face. But right now I feel healthy and great, and I run and hike and love living in this beautiful place.